American public schools have been the envy of the world for many years, but recent studies show that U.S. students have fallen behind students in other industrialized countries, particularly in the area of math and science. So policymakers are scratching their heads and asking why. For Fresh Outlook, I decided to go to the front lines of our public schools and speak with the teachers who work with our students every day.
My name is Ashawn Washington. I teach 5th grade.
Ashawn started teaching a few months ago and says the first year is tough.
I'm learning my teaching style as I'm learning a curriculum. Then I'm learning my students and their personalities. Then I'm learning parents, and I'm learning my coworkers. So it's a lot of different aspects all at once in your first year that you don't think about when you go into it. It's definitely not an 8-hour day. I would say my day is probably a 10-hour day in school, but then when I go home, I may do 2-3 hours more worth of work.
Ashawn says America's public schools are in crisis, and it'll take more than hardworking teachers to turn things around.
I think it's an education crisis, but I don't think it falls necessarily on the teachers. I think there's a lot of factors in it. There's a financial factor. There's a parental factor. So just can't blame the teachers because of a crisis. There's even a generational crisis. A lot of my students don't work as hard as my generation did. And where does that start at? It starts at home.
My name is Olabimpe Ige, and I've been teaching at Leeds Middle School for more than 8 years.
She says public school teachers get a bad rep when it comes to the education crisis.
When I first got here, it was like, where did these children come from? It was my first time of actually seeing children that were not motivated to learn.
But Olabimpe stayed the course and developed her own style in the classroom. 8 years later, she's a model teacher.
As I've been teaching, I've been able to change the way my children view the world around them, and I've been able to train them to set goals and aspire to somebody greater than me.
She says becoming a good teacher takes time.
I think it has to do with experience. Not only experience, first thing I would say is determination to succeed.
And a passion for changing the lives of children.
I could do this job and not get paid, and I will be happy going home without being paid. That's how much fulfillment I get from teaching.
You know that later on in life, they may think about you, something that they're doing. They may say, I remember when Ms. Washington gave me this advice, or I remember that Ms. Washington was, an African-American female and she was a teacher. It's things like that that make me feel good.
For Fresh Outlook, I'm Cherry Gregg Mincy.